Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Nerd Rage Gaming Recap, yes.
Yes.
So, my name is Dan Hugar. I'm here with Brian DeVesa. And Brian, we actually played Pokemon
Yeah, I know. It's like a weird feeling that I get to play at Nerd Rage once in a while.
today. Yes.
It's fun.
And as you can see, we didn't have our big intro. We don't have a ton of stuff. Today, we kind of didn't have the support to actually do the stream.
Yeah.
So, we played. And to be honest, Brian, I thought we were going to have a pretty low turnout with
Yeah.
Atlanta. And how many people did we have?
We had 33 people here today.
33
Yeah.
players, and more than a couple of them said they came out for this local league series.
Yeah, which is super awesome to hear because, I mean, if we have turnout like this every week, then our locals just get so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And also, we get to see good competition and we get a bunch of people excited to play the game, which is not always a guarantee.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, sometimes at the end of the season, a lot of the turnouts kind of get a little bit lower just because people aren't really trying as much for their invite, this or that, or, they're not really, enjoying the game as much. But this is a really great time to be playing just
It
because
is.
rotation just happened. And now that we have the new league, we're hoping to keep the turnout this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we are going to talk through two things here real quick. One, we want to talk about the actual leaderboard.
Yeah.
And then two, honestly, we had some interesting spread for the top deck. So I figure we just talk about those, what we think about them for Atlanta. And then
Yeah.
I'd say we just each give our pick of who's going to win.
Yeah, definitely.
So starting with the leaderboard, I give you leaderboard.
Yeah, the leaderboard.
So we have we'll Vanna White this
Yeah.
bad boy. So
Yes.
we have our leaderboard, and we'll post this on Twitter and everything like that
Yes.
too. But
And Discord, hopefully.
yes, and Discord. But Christian Moshe Jr., Josh DeLuca, Larry, and Trevor all very close to just being on top right now, with Christian having a 3-point lead.
Yeah, definitely. And Trevor and Alec were the ones who were on top last week.
Yes.
So they kind of kept their spots. They kind of dipped down a little bit, but Christian Jr. making the big push into first place after the first couple of weeks.
It is. And you can see there's a couple, honestly, the first 10 players all have multiple weeks now, keeping
Yeah.
them on the board.
Definitely.
And then we do feature a couple new names on the tail end. Number
Yes.
one is Michael Davidson.
Yes, I mean, it shouldn't be a new name to the community, but new name to our leaderboard this week.
Yes. And then the other one, at number 14, I want to note a certain Brian DeVesa
Yeah.
got on here and is
I made
on the
it.
board.
Yeah, I made it this week.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm gonna be off the leaderboard probably by next week, but
100%. And I would like to point out my name up here. Yes, Dan Hugar. I did indeed go 2-2, so I am number 34 on the leaderboard currently. Just trying to boost everybody else up right
Yep.
now. It was a brutal day. It was
Yes.
a brutal day. But okay, so then the couple decks we want to talk about, and just here, we'll Vanna White again. Leaderboard, we will have to note on this, we'll have this posted in the actual store every day, so you can come in, check it out. We will post the actual top 15 players. My name will not be on there, but we'll do that on Twitter, Discord, hopefully. And then we're working to try to have it just be accessible online. So if you're not in the top 15, you can see where you're at, but that one is still in progress.
Yeah, and we're making strides to do that just to make the user experience for people who aren't able to make it out to the store a lot better. So we're really excited for all the stuff that we're doing for the league and hoping that the league is something that we're able to do throughout the entire year.
Yes, agreed. And so, Brian, we had a couple interesting decks here. I believe we had Roaring Moon.
Yeah, Roaring Moon.
We
Christian
had-
Jr. played that to first place.
Yes, we had Frostlast Monkey Dory.
Yep,
Michael Davidson
Yep.
played that. We had Terrapico's Bouffalont.
that was me.
That was well played.
Yes.
And then we had Gardevoir EX, which apparently is still a top deck.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's my worst matchup, so that was my only loss that I took tonight was against Gardevoir.
Reasonable. And
Yep.
then what was our last undefeated deck?
Was it Larry or DeLuca?
I think it was DeLuca went through. Josh DeLuca went 3-1 with Enzorark, which
Yeah.
is what helped him get to number 2 spot.
Yeah,
So I can't even
and
remember.
then Larry's on Terrabox.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty good spread of decks.
Yeah, there's a lot, I think part of it that helps is that there's no clear BDIF, and a lot of that is a lot of people are actually losing faith in Terrabox going into the weekend, and
Dango. Thank you, Moshi.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. Yeah, and a lot of people are kind of losing faith in Terrabox, and a lot of people were thinking it was like de facto like best deck in the format.
Yeah.
But going into the weekend, I think a lot of people are pivoting off or trying to find other decks to kind of play instead.
And I will say, I think in general, Terrabox is probably best deck in format. I
Mhm.
think the true best deck in format that everything is warping around is Dragapult. though.
Yeah, I think so too. Just because I mean, the one of inclusion of playing the Clefairy is in so
Yes.
many decks, and a lot of that is because of Dragapult. And I think a lot of people are playing 70 HP basic Pokemon because of Dragapult. Like,
Yes.
Dragapult definitely has a big like share in the meta. A lot of people are comfortable with playing the deck, and a lot of people are looking to play that this weekend.
Well, even 8 and 0, because, or
Yeah,
excuse me, 80 HP Hoot Hoots,
yeah,
because to try to play around the Halucha play. So, yes.
yeah,
And I think that's Jolly trying to decide between Terra, Boof, and Poison Arch. Whew.
yeah,
Those honestly are great choices. I
yeah.
think Terra Boof is definitely the up and comer, but Poison Arch, man, you're going to steal a lot of games.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, a lot of people who aren't ready for it, like you can take an easy game one just because someone only set up one basic Pokemon and it was like a baby, and you just take the donk that way.
Which is
Yeah,
crazy. And I think over the course of a tournament, if you even steal 3 games like that, that may be 3 rounds that you win.
yeah, definitely. So that's definitely one of the big picks that we're kind of looking at as well. Terrapagos is definitely a big one. That's the one that I played today, and I think that's also a deck that's really well positioned into the meta as well. And yeah, definitely.
No, I think it's a good pick. And Jolly for saying poison deck using Trolley and Arven along with Budu, not built for donking. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. You'll probably have it be more consistent. But to be honest, I think so much of the power comes from being able to donk. And that
Yeah.
was actually one of my top 2 decks I wanted to talk about for Atlanta. One is that Poison Arch
Hmm.
because it's kind of the new coming of Cloth, just the very different package.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not even like a Cloth deck anymore. It's pretty much
Right.
just a poison box deck, pretty much. It's just like Cloth was the first one to do it, so they kind of attach Cloth's name to it.
It's just
Yeah.
poison plus big hitter.
Yeah.
In Cloth, it was Cloth and Terrapagos. Now it's Bridge.
Yeah,
'Cause Bridge is
definitely.
pretty big.
Yeah.
All right, so then that's one for me. And yes, Jolly, using Carmine instead of Gears may not be bad, even
Yeah.
though Gears helpful later.
Yeah.
But Brian, what's one of your top picks for Atlanta?
Yeah, so if I were going to the event, I probably would play Goldengo. I feel like Goldengo is like a sleeper pick going into the weekend. I feel like not many people have really teched into it too much.
Hmm.
It's one of those decks that trades really well as well because I mean it's only stage one, and it has like a really big. It's got an infinite damage ceiling.
Yeah.
And another big benefit to playing Goldengo is that it's its own draw supporter. It's attacker and draw supporter in one Pokemon, and it
Yes.
takes a good Dragapult matchup as well. So I think all those things kind of combined is what makes it kind of like my pick for the event.
And so all I already said one of my possible picks.
Yeah,
And Jolly for Terra Boof possibly getting overhyped to people teching against it. I don't know how you can really effectively tech against it.
yeah,
It's just kind of its own archetype. So it will be overhyped, I think, but doesn't mean it's bad.
yeah.
So, Brian, I'm going to share my pick, but since I already shared one, what else do you think is your pick for Atlanta?
Yeah, I think another pick that I would have considered for the event, since we did talk about Dragapult already, that's probably my number two. I think the number three would be Terrabox. I think it's still a strong deck. It's got a lot of outs to different things. You still have very powerful attackers in it, like the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, which is super powerful at taking care of, the baby basics.
Yeah.
Um, the Teal Mask still helps with a lot of dark Pokemon that are in the meta. Like Roaring Moon is still in the meta. And Zoroark is in the meta as well, so that can kind of help with that.
Yeah.
Pikachu helps with pretty much all the big mons. You can kind of take care of that as well. And then Clefairy also is really helpful as well.
Well,
Into
Clefairy
yeah,
gives you so much of a line into Dragapult and stuff.
yeah,
Pikachu just kind of deletes things. It's a
yeah,
good combination.
yeah. And I think Clefairy also is like a very underrated attacker because so many decks are taking advantage of Area Zero. So with
Yeah.
all the Pokemon that are going to be on the bench, I mean, it's just asking for big damage to kind of come out.
And I will say, for those going to the event, bench management, I think, is going to be a huge, huge piece of who does well and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, Area Zero, Clefairy, there's a lot of big pieces there.
Yeah, same with just like resource management period, like
Yeah.
knowing like what's in your deck, what's in your discard pile, what kind of recovery options you have. Those are also really big things to kind of take advantage of and to kind of keep in account during the weekend, and you kind of have to know what your outs are and
Yeah.
what you can kind of like use in your deck.
Absolutely. And Jolly, Michael Davidson playing Frostlast
Yeah.
Monkey, like it could be a real deck. It's relatively
Yeah.
new to the format, but it could be good. PTCG trainer, Zork. Zork is good.
Yeah. Just
Josh
don't
obviously prized a bunch of his Mons in the last one, but could be good. I think Enzork still probably on the mid end for me, but
yeah.
whatever.
I just think it hasn't been solved yet. I think that's my thing. And then I think one also sleeper pick to kind of talk about for the weekend is Gardevoir.
Gardevoir, I think, is something that is a
Mhm.
better deck than I want it to be
Yeah.
because it is good.
I've been a believer.
I know you have.
Yeah.
It is a deck to believe in. Murray,
Yeah.
welcome to
Murray,
have
what's
you.
going on, man?
It is a very short stream today, but I appreciate y'all joining.
Yeah.
Moshi, no, I will not advocate for Roaring Moon EX because I
Yes.
do not think it is the play, even
Maybe
though
ask Rafal for that. He'll advocate for you.
there you go. Yes, talk to
Yeah.
Rafal. Jolly Zor Arch, I think it's good. It's a draw engine with a big hitter.
Yeah.
And then also for including Mew and Terra Boof, honestly, I think it's actually an essential occlusion. It's
Yeah.
so good into Dragapult.
Definitely.
And Josh,
Oh, yeah.
yes, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank you.
All right, so then Brian, you mentioned really the two picks I was thinking of. So one is
Mhm.
Terra. I think Terra Box is very, very good. And I am going to say that I think Dragapult, if you can play it perfectly, is the play.
Yeah, it's
Because
definitely it's a harder deck to play for sure.
it is. And I don't know which version is better between the Dusknoir version and the Pidgeot version or the No
Yeah.
Dusk, but it's what everything is warping around and it's doing it because it's clearly the best deck.
Yeah, definitely. My personal is I like the Dusknoir package a lot. I think you just have some really crazy lines that you shouldn't be able to have just
Yes.
because you're playing it. So I really like the Dusknoir package as well. And I think if people just watch, like, even though the deck is different now, if you watch Andrew Hedrick's like performance, what was at Vancouver regional finals, you'll really know how powerful the deck can really be.
I mean, Andrew's an incredible player, but
Yeah.
also to your point, it's less so about like what's the format. It's more how did he enact his game plan to sweep the game.
Yeah.
That is very similar between Dragapult then and Dragapult now.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so like we said, it was going to be a short one. Brian, is there any feedback you have for anyone going into Atlanta or coming out of our stuff today?
I think the big ones are, make sure that you have Terras on the field before you use the Noctowl.
Yes.
I did make that mistake today, so
Ah, Brian.
yeah, I know. So that's definitely one to kind of keep track of. If you play EXP share in Dragapult, make sure you place it in the right spot because sometimes people bench snipe and you won't be able to get the best of advantage of the EXP share.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another big one.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, what are some of your key takeaways for the weekend?
I mean, I'll repeat myself, bench management.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely have to be super careful about how you manage your bench, both planning ahead and making sure you put the right guys down, or
Yeah.
Murray, it is heartbreaking when our heroes
Yes.
mess up, but we'll
Yeah.
forgive Brian.
I know. That was my only loss for the day, so I'm not too mad about it. I was still able to walk away on the board.
You are on the
I'm
board.
on the board.
And not illegitimately
Yeah.
like I am crammed in the top over
Yeah,
here. Yes.
no, like here, where is it? I'm on the board.
Yes, Brian is officially on the board. And Jolly, I do think it would be tough to fit Wellspring into Terra Boof just
Yeah.
because the amount of pieces you would need. But on my end, like I said, bench management. And then the other thing, and even though it sounds silly, is prize mapping.
Yeah, definitely.
Be so careful mapping out both your prize map and your opponents, especially with decks that play Dusknoir, because you can watch your opponent checkmate you without being, if you're not careful about where you're clearing off their Duskulls or whatever else.
Yeah, definitely. Another big one too is prize map, like not prize mapping, just like knowing what your prizes are, prize checking.
Yes.
A lot of decks are running one-ofs because a lot of these lists are really tight, especially if you're playing something like Terrabox or Terrapagos or sometimes even Dragapult. Like your Dragapult's got like a few one-ofs that you kind of have to keep track of as well. So kind of getting in the habit of like checking throughout the game, like knowing what you need for that certain matchup is really big for the event.
Agreed. All right. So, like we said, it's going to be a short one. We appreciate you all signing off for a little bit, but want to make sure we got something here, got something on YouTube to follow it. So, we will be signing off here. But, Brian, just want to wish everyone good luck if you're going
Yeah.
to Atlanta.
Definitely. Yeah, make us proud in Atlanta. Neither of us are going, but we're really hoping that the team kind of shows out for it and all our
Yes.
friends kind of do well and innovate for the event and just play really clean.
Absolutely. And I've got to be prepped for Seville in a couple weeks. So, I'm
Yes.
hoping to learn a lot this weekend
Definitely.
to not go 0-4 drop.
Yes.
Anyway, but we are also super hyped, and I do want to make sure to invite everyone out because we would love to have you here for our league series for this Q4. Every Thursday between now and the end of May will count towards points for the league leaderboard. And like we said, top 4 of our challenges will qualify, top 8 of the cup, and then top 12 from the leaderboard. You'll get to come play an invitational in June.
Yeah, definitely. And we're just really excited for it. We got a cool invitational event kind of planned for the summertime. And hopefully we can really make it like a really great event for everyone watching at home.
Absolutely. Well, then we will sign off here. It's going to be a little not clean because we're just
Yeah.
going to walk over and sign
Yes.
off. But Appreciate you all
I'll walk
being
over
here.
there.
All right, thank you, Brian. But appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much for watching our little short stream here, and we will see you all next Thursday here at Nerd Rage Gaming.